This brief video introduces you to a study being conducted by members of CaCHE, exploring the issue of COVID and homelessness. It's being led by Suzanne Fitzpatrick up in iSphere at Heriot-Watt University and me, Pete Mackie at Cardiff University. The context of the study is that the pandemic, COVID-19, has had a significant impact on homelessness and the response to homelessness. We've seen radical changes in the response to homelessness with third sector partners, local authorities, national governments, faith-based organisations coalescing around the challenges faced in accommodating homeless people, enabling people to self-isolate. And we've seen action at a scale and a pace not previously seen in the response to homelessness. So to exemplify that, in Wales, we've seen at least 800 people accommodated from the streets. In England, the data suggests that 90% of street homeless people have been offered permanent accommodation. And in Scotland, whilst the legislation and the situation is slightly different, whereby everyone is owed permanent accommodation, there's still been a real change and a pace of action to get people off the streets that we've not seen before. So there's an awful lot of change. And there's a recognition across the sector that this is a point in time, a juncture in which the sector has an opportunity, with support of academia, to really make sure that we work together to get things right for the future in order to successfully end homelessness. So the aim of the study, well, firstly, it's to acknowledge that so much positive activity has gone on and so much has happened, but our knowledge base is piecemeal, contained within different sectors. And so the study will bring together this information, this evidence in a systematic way to examine responses to homelessness during the pandemic. And it will do three things. Firstly, it'll identify the main components of the response during the pandemic, and identify any geographical variations across Great Britain. Secondly, it'll explore the impacts on homeless people, but also on the folk and the services trying to respond to the needs of homeless people. And crucially, the research will also look at, well, what does this mean for the future of homelessness policy and practice if we're to effectively meet the needs of homeless people? And what that'll mean is feeding in the results iteratively. So we won't be waiting until the very end of the project before feeding in to policymakers and practitioners, but as the evidence base builds, we'll be feeding that back to the sector so that they can make timely responses. And our approach to that reflects that need for iterative evidence. So we'll be doing primarily qualitative research, but in two waves. So there'll be two waves of interviews across England, Scotland and Wales with key informants. And the first point of evidence capture is this point of crisis. These interviews are happening now and that they're imminent. And then in the second wave, we'll wait until early 2021 to reflect critically on what's happened and posing again those same questions. And we'll look to involve around 45 to 50 policymakers, practitioners across those interviews. We'll also be using the CaCHE knowledge exchange hubs to gather input from sector stakeholders into the research. And finally, and most importantly, we'll be talking with people with lived experience in Scotland, England and Wales. And we'll do that through interviews and through focus groups. And we would anticipate engaging no fewer than 30 people. So finally, if you're interested in the project and the research, please get in touch and we'd be really keen to hear from you. Thank you.